Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And this morning, T-Mobile dropped a network update, giving us an update on their milestones. So, T-Mobile reports their earnings on the 29th, which is 2 days from today. Do not be expecting any more updates on the network. They're going to present these same numbers that you're seeing here at the earnings day. 2 days is not going to change much. So I'm actually surprised that they reported that this morning. They could have just left this for the earnings call, but they decided to do it anyway. So the update that we have now, earlier last month, or towards the end of last month or early July, we got the update that T-Mobile hit the milestone of 300 million covered with low band 5G. So we got that update out the way. They hit that milestone. On to the next. The next milestone is they want to hit 200 million covered with ultra capacity T-Mobile's mid-band layer of 5G, which they got from the Sprint merger. So this morning they updated us that they are now covering 165 million with that ultra capacity layer, up from 150. So within the last few months, I would say 2 months, give or take, they increased it by 15 million pops, which is a pretty good pace, I would say. And that should let you know that they are on track of hitting 200 plus million by the end of the year. So they'll have a lead. Let's give it to T-Mobile. They will have a lead in mid-band 5G. Verizon wants to hit 100 million by March 2022. AT&T is signaling that they won't hit 75 million until the end of 2022. T-Mobile will likely be at, I would say, 250 plus million by the end of 2022 covered. Now, once they go beyond the 200 million mark, they're going to start touching more rural sites. 83% of the population live within cities. Once T-Mobile expands outside of that 200 million, they're going to start touching more suburban and rural areas like interstates, highways, sites along major interstates. They're going to start touching all those sites once they reach outside of that 200 million footprint. And that's going to be a more tedious, lengthier process. So I think they'll hit 250 million plus by the end of 2022. And then they'll approach the 300 million by the end of 2023, maybe a little more. But that's going to be a tedious process that they'll have to work through. And of course, it'll take an investment, which they are planning to do 12 billion this year and then another 12 billion next year, which I would say is quite impressive. They're not doing their own fiber, so there's nothing to shave off of the top of that. So you could say that entire 12 billion is literally going towards the N41 rollout. They're not doing anything else right now. They're not doing small cells. They're just upgrading their sites. So 12 billion is a lot. And of course, they're doing some of the Sprint sites, actually quite a bit of Sprint sites. They're converting them to T-Mobile equipment. So that 12 billion is quite a lot for that purpose, if you really sit there and think about it. And right now, they're not really rushing on anything else. Small cells, as Neville Ray says, are still a nightmare to be approved. Verizon is going through that. There's a lot of town halls and counties that are pushing back on some of the small cells. And some have commented, and it makes sense, that some of the frequencies that T-Mobile has on the millimeter wave, they don't have equipment for yet in the market. So why should they rush that? And I completely agree. Hell, some phones don't even have the capability of taking advantage of the 47 gigahertz that T-Mobile has 500 megahertz of. So I think T-Mobile is very smartly rolling this out. A lot of people have told me in the past that Verizon is Verizon because of what they've done in the past and how they got there is being a very strategic and smart company. Well, T-Mobile, I would say, is a very big company now, a very great size of company, and I think they got there very smartly too. So I don't think there's anything less to say about T-Mobile other than we have to wait. As I've told you guys in yesterday's video, I was talking to the contractors, and he's not really familiar with the wireless side of the plans, but he was telling me that if, he knows business. He was the owner of the company. He says he knows business. And to operate at a pace that you may want is not always feasible within a yearly, or I should say annually allotment. So there's only so much you can do within a year. T-Mobile is spending a lot of money to accelerate their macro footprint. So they're fortifying their macro footprint where it matters right now. Backup generators, state-of-the-art equipment, radios. The macros are going to shine. They're going to have the best of the best on their macros, which is completely fine. If they can get within, I would say, the next 12 to 18 months, if they can get between a number of 1,000 to 2,000 macros deployed for rural coverage, I think that's a win. T-Mobile just can't move any faster than humanly possible. They're playing from behind, so they need time. So we have to give them time. By the end of the year, it'll look better. There'll be more backup power on sites. The next year, it'll look even better. And then the year after, it'll get even better. And we're talking optimizing, backup power, new radios, scaled backhaul. That'll come with time. They're not in a rush to do this. They're in the lead. So why should they rush any more than what they're capable of? So just keep that in mind. They're working. They know Verizon's coming. They know AT&T is doing what they do. But T-Mobile has their eyes on their own plan, the leadership of 5G. So let me know what you think about this update in the comment section down below. I will leave this article in the description so you guys can check it out. If you have been on the channel or you're new to the channel and you have not yet liked, share, subscribe, make sure you do so. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload content. Make sure to follow my social media outlets for more updates and interaction. Thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.